Okay, good afternoon. Okay, so silence. So today we will be starting. Okay, silence. Okay, silence. So today we will be starting a new lesson, and it is modulus functions. But before starting modulus functions, silence. Since there are few newcomers both in the physical class and in the online class, and normally at the beginning of the class, when we are starting a new lesson, I just tell the way of the class and the previous lessons that what we have done. So when we're talking about the previous lessons that what we have done so far in the class, I'll just figure out or highlight the main lessons. So the first main lesson we completed was polynomials, and then partial fractions, partial fractions, inequalities, and the last lesson what we completed last week, it was trigonometry, the first part of trigonometry. So other than these lessons, we have done this recurring decimals where we have to convert a recurring decimal into a fraction. And even we have done basic mathematical concepts. So we have done basic mathematical concepts and recurring decimals. But basic mathematical concepts, that is not a lesson anyway. That is the simplification that we will be needed for A levels. And the other one is recurring decimals is even not a area that is tested for A levels. We get that part, especially when you're having a first term test at your school. You get those questions where you have to convert these recurring decimals into fractions. But that is not a main lesson. So I didn't highlight those two lessons. So these are the main lessons that we have completed so far. And today we'll be starting the lesson modulus functions. And then what I want to say is, like, if you are a newcomer, next week when you are coming to the class, you can go to the cashier and you can get the tunes of the previous lessons. Okay, so when you go to the cashier, mention that you are a new student, you can get the tunes of the previous lessons, and polynomials is a single tute, and trigonometry is even a single tute, and partial fractions and inequalities, those two and few more algebra lessons are in one tute called as basic algebra. So even the lesson that we are doing today, the tute is in that, the tute or the questions for today's lesson is even included in this tute. So there are 3 tutes, you get that tute, but if you're a newcomer, today it's okay. You will be getting a A3 paper only where you have this modulus functions, tutes, modulus function questions. So then get the tute, and what I want to do is I have uploaded all these. I'm talking, huh? So I have uploaded all these lessons and recordings up to last week in YouTube. So I don't expect that you go home and watch all these recordings, even you are a newcomer or even you are an all student who missed those lessons. But now when you are doing that lesson at school, when you're doing the lesson at school, if you think that, let's say you have done that lesson in a previous class, or you just started combined maths and you don't know anything about the lessons, but when school starts and when the combined maths teacher is doing those lessons, if you feel that it is a bit hard, if you feel that it is a bit confusing, what you can do is you can go through these YouTube recordings. So that's why I have uploaded these initial recordings to YouTube. For then it is more convenient for you, because then you don't have to ask access for any of the recordings. If you feel these lessons are a bit hard, and even like you got marks of the paper last week, so today I'll be even talking about the marks. And if you think, okay, I need to go through these lessons, what you can do, you can just use those YouTube recordings. So you have the tute with you, and even for the newcomers who have joined the online class, even we have posted the tutes, but I think because of this long weekend, there might be a slight delay. But if not, you will be probably getting the tutes by this week. So then you can use the YouTube recordings in that way. Clear? So today's lesson is modulus function, and for that one, we don't like, it is not like previous lessons are not required. We don't need to have any of the knowledge of these previous lessons. So any student, even though your combined maths knowledge is nil, either it is 0 or you are having a good knowledge, that is okay. But I want you to start from here. මෙතනින් පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Forget about trigonometry. You can't forget it later. You will be needing it. But for now, you can forget about trigonometry, polynomials, all these lessons. Let's start from here as a new start. Because from this lesson onwards, every lesson you can easily understood without the help of the previous lessons. For modulus functions, we don't need the previous lessons. Okay, then write the main topic, modulus functions. Write the main topic, modulus functions. Okay. So when we are talking about modulus functions, we need to know what is known as the modulus. So modulus, I'll explain this in this way. Now, if I take a number line, if I consider a number line, and we have +2 and -2. We are having the number line 0, and we have +2 and -2. +2 and -2. So why do we consider this as +2 or +2 and this one as minus? Because there is a standard in mathematics in the number line. The numbers to the right-hand side of 0 is considered to be positive, and numbers to the left-hand side of 0 is considered to be negative. So that is the only reason why you term this as +2 and -2. But now if I ask you, what is the distance from 0 to +2 and what is the distance from 0 to -2? Okay, this one you admit the distance is 2 units. If it is centimeters, meters, whatever the unit you are considering, it is 2. But if I ask you what is the distance from 0 to -2, tell me what is your answer? It's even 2. No, you don't say that the distance, it's -2. It's even 2. So this is the what we consider as the modulus. So modulus simply gives us the numerical value of a number or a function despite of the sign. So if you ignore the sign, the numerical value is given by the modulus. So even when you consider the modulus of 2, that is even 2. If you consider the modulus of -2, okay, that is even 2. So this numerical value, we termed it as the absolute value. The numerical value, or you can even use the word absolute value. Numerical value and absolute value of a number is known as the modulus. So here the modulus is denoted by this sign. This is the sign of the modulus. So if you say modulus 2, that is equal to 2. And even if you say modulus -2, okay, this is even equal to 2 because the distance is the modulus and that is the absolute value. So we don't consider the sign. It's just a numerical value, the magnitude of the number. Okay, so let's write it this way. Let's consider +2 and -2. If you don't have the modulus graph tute or the basic, if you're a newcomer, just raise your hand so we will give you the tute. And if not, like if you came to the class in between, so you don't have the basic algebra tute, you can even get this tutor. Okay, so keep your hands raised. This I will give you the tute. Write this. Let's consider +2 and -2. +2 and -2 on a number line. Let's consider +2 and -2 on a number line. Okay, then draw this. Draw a number line, mark 2 and -2 and consider the distance to be. You don't get the tute if you forgot to bring the basic algebra because I have just printed a limited number of tutes. If you didn't get the basic algebra tute, or if you are a newcomer, only get the tute. If not, the students who really want the tute won't be able to have it. Okay, just draw the number line. Don't write anything else and put +2 -2 and then mark in this way. Okay, then write in this way, it's clear, it is clear, the distance from 0, the distance from 0 to plus 2 and minus 2, the distance from 0 to plus 2 and minus 2 is equal to, write in red pen, 2, is equal to, is equal to 2, is equal to 2. The distance from 0 to plus 2 or minus 2 is equal to 2. Okay, and then write this. Then write this. This distance, the distance from 0 on a number line, this distance from 0 on a number line is considered as the, write in a black pen, absolute value, is considered as the absolute value, normal pen, of the number. Absolute value of the number. Absolute value of the number. Okay, then next line, within quoted commas, write this. Within quoted commas, write this. The absolute value of a number slash function. The absolute value of a number slash function despite of, you can pronounce it as despite anything, you know the meaning. So it's the normal pronunciation goes as despite. Okay. So you can pronounce it in any way. You know the meaning. Lakuna mukakuna, whatever the sign is the meaning. Simply, hope you know this. This is the English medium class, no? Okay, so despite. The absolute value of a number slash function, despite its sign, is known as the, write in a red pen, modulus of the number slash function, is known as the modulus of the number slash function. Okay, close the quoted commas. And next line, the modulus is denoted by, the modulus is denoted by, the modulus is denoted by, write this sign, just 2 lines, is denoted by this. The modulus is denoted by this. Okay. And then after that, write example. Write this example. So modulus 2 is equal to 2. Modulus minus 2 is equal to minus 2. Modulus minus 1 over 3. It's 1 over 3. Modulus 0.4 is equal to 0.4. Write these examples. Okay, so now it's clear. When we are having a positive value inside the modulus, now let's say we are having a positive value inside the modulus, we get the same answer. So when it is positive, there's no any difference, no anyhow. And the main thing now, when we do this lesson and when I come to you, you can't say, sir, I'm a newcomer. I missed this lesson, I missed this lesson. You can't give me those excuses from today onwards, okay? Because if you came today, even you came from commerce and you found commerce is really hard, so you came to do maths. Okay, that is even okay. You can still get this lesson. So I can't see anyone who's not doing the work that I give and who's giving me excuses telling that you are a newcomer. Make sure that from here we need to start. Metani padan ganna. Okay, because everyone can understand that. I'll mark my word that everyone here should be able to do today's work. Okay. So here it's clear when it is modulus 2, it's equal to 2. When it is a modulus of a positive number, you get the same number. But when it is the modulus of a negative number, you get the non-negative value of this. So minus 2 has been converted into 2. Modulus, like when you have minus 2, when you have the modulus of a negative number, we get the non-negative number as the answer, the non-negative value. Okay, now you tell me, how can you convert minus 2 into plus 2? How can you convert minus 2 into plus 2? One thing, you can erase the minus mark. Okay, one thing. So what is the mathematical way that you can convert minus 2 into plus 2? You can multiply by minus. So what happens here is when we have a positive number inside the modulus, you directly get that value. So it is 2. But when you have a negative one here, you get the non-negative value. So how do you convert a negative number into the positive number? Is by multiplying by minus. So when you have a minus 2, it becomes minus minus 2, which gives you 2. So it's clear how does the modulus work is when you have a positive value inside the modulus. When you have a positive value inside the modulus, you directly get that answer. The modulus directly gives that answer. But when you have a negative value inside the modulus, you get the non-negative value of that. So how do you convert minus 2 into plus 2? By multiplying by minus 1. You get the answer after it is multiplied by minus 1. Clear? So based on this, we will be getting a definition of a modulus function. How to define a modulus function. Okay, then write in this way. According to the above definition, it is clear the modulus of a positive value, the modulus of a positive value is the same value, and the modulus of a negative value, is its non-negative value. Is its non-negative value. Is its non-negative value. Okay. Then again write this example. Modulus 2 is directly 2, so it remain unchanged. But when you have modulus minus 2, it's minus minus 2. It's minus minus 2. So write this example, this and this. Write this in the same line. Modulus minus 2 is equal to minus minus 2 is equal to plus 2. Okay, then write based on this, the modulus of a function, is defined in the following manner. The modulus of a function is defined in the following manner. Okay. So now what I want to do is I need to write the definition of modulus fx. So say, write in the definition means we have to take out the modulus. Okay. Write in the definition of a modulus function is we have to take out the modulus. modulus function එක definition එක කියන්නේ අපි modulus එක අයින් කරන්න ඕනේ. We have to take out the modulus mark. So here, so there are two ways that you can write it. Either you can use these curl brackets, curl or curly brackets. What do you call it? Curl brackets or curly? Curly brackets. No, okay. So you can either use a curly bracket or you can use two arrows. So if you like arrows, you can use this. If you like curly brackets, you can use this. Both are okay. So I told you, now what we have to do is we are going to define this modulus. So when you are defining the modulus, that means that you need to take out the modulus. You need to take out the modulus. Okay, now I'm asking you a question. Let's say that x is positive. X is positive. So what did I mention here? If we got a positive value, the modulus gives the same value. If we have a positive value inside, the modulus gives us the same value. So here, if x is positive, modulus x gives you the same value, that is x. The modulus x gives you the same value. Take example, always think in numerical examples. Modulus 2 is equal to 2. But if you say that x is a negative number, so the reason of this, it's x is positive, x is greater than 0, it's positive, and this is x is less than 0, it's negative. So when x is less than 0, what do we get? We get the non-negative answer, non-negative value, which means it should be multiplied by minus. No? So when x is negative, tell me what do we get out from the modulus? We get minus x. Clear? When x is negative, we get the minus value of it. So modulus x, when x is negative, we get minus x. And this one is known as the definition of modulus. The reason you have taken out the modulus based on whether it is positive or negative. So same thing, you can write this as x. When x is greater than 0, or you can write it becomes minus x. It becomes minus x when x is less than 0. So simply x is positive when x is negative. X is positive, x is negative. So you can use both the definitions or both the notations, but I'll be using this one from here onwards. Both are okay. But there is a small issue that we have missed one number. No? We have considered greater than 0. We have considered greater than 0 and we have... Don't sleep. Huh? Yes, on out. No. This one, okay. You can see me? No? Okay, good. Manopar English, the English word of manopar is zone out. Zone out. Okay. Not mental attack. Manopar. Okay. So here, so this one is, we have missed one. We have, you just woke up. Okay. So when x is, so we have considered x is greater than 0 and less than 0, but we have missed one. No? What we miss, we have missed x equals 0. So there are two ways that you can write x equals 0. Some write this in, okay, x is equal to 0. So when x is greater than 0, x is equal to 0 or x is less than 0. When x is equal to 0, it's 0, the modulus of 0 is 0. So some write this in this way, but I don't prefer that way. We can do this in this way. For one of the inequalities, you can write, okay, x is greater than 0. I'm considering greater or equal to 0. So you are getting the same result. When x is equal to 0, modulus 0, you get it's equal to 0. X no. So x is equal to 0. You get the same answer. But you can write this because like at school or another class, you might be writing this definition. So that's why I'm telling you. This can be written as even that you consider x equals 0 separately. When x equals 0, it's modulus 0 or the modulus 0 is 0. But what I prefer is put in an equal mark here. So then the things are simple. You don't have to write 2. Okay, so this is the definition. This is what we consider as the definition of a modulus. So what is the definition? Definition means that we need to remove the modulus from the function. Removing the modulus from the function is known as the definition of the modulus, and it is done in this way. So First write both these ways, but here after when we are writing the definitions, you can go with one method. Clear? Okay, write in this way. Write in this way. Write the topic. Write the topic. Definition of a modulus function. Definition of a modulus function. Definition of a modulus function. You then write in this way. Removal of the modulus sign. Removal of the modulus sign. Removal of the modulus sign is considered as the is considered as the definition of a modulus function. Definition of a modulus function. Definition of a modulus function. Okay, then write number 1 and write in this way modulus x. So this is how you define it. Okay. Now I want you to do, based on what I have explained so far, just write what you think that is okay. Try to write the definition of x minus 1 modulus. Okay, so based on what I have explained so far, try to write write something like whatever you think, whatever comes to your mind, write the definition of x minus 1 modulus. For the online students, if you don't have the tute yet, I have asked to upload the modulus graph tute as a PDF to the group, so you can use that for now. For sure, by next week, you will be getting the tute. Okay, do this x minus 1 modulus. Write the definition. So I told you definition is removing the modulus. Okay, now look at this. So this is how we do this. So next one you can do, everyone can do it alone. So now tell me, when we are having a positive one inside this, when what is inside the modulus is positive, what do? We directly take it out. So when this is positive, x minus 1 directly comes out. When it is positive, x minus 1 directly comes out. When this is negative, I told you the minus of this comes out. Minus of this. So when it is minus of this, it's minus of this. What is this? It's x minus 1. So what comes out is the minus of x minus 1. You have to put a bracket because it's the minus of this. Then here you get minus x plus 1. So it's x minus 1. When x minus 1 is positive, it is minus x, this minus 1 when it is negative. You now tell me, we get x minus 1, we get the same answer when this is positive. When who is positive? When who is positive? Tell me, when who is positive? Not x. When x minus 1 is positive. Clear? X කියන එක්කෙනා positive නෙමෙයි. අවන මේ ඇතුලේ ඉන්න එක්කෙනා when x minus 1 is positive. So here you get this answer when x minus 1 is positive, which means x is greater or equal to 1. So it's always, this one should be repeated here. This entire one inside the modulus should be repeated here. So x minus 1 is greater than 0. And then you can write the negative of this when x minus 1 is less than 0, which means when x is less than 1. Which means when x is less than 1. Okay, hands up who got the idea, who understood this? Okay, then everyone write the definition of x plus 2 modulus. Now you can do this. Write the definition of x plus 2 modulus. The definition of x plus 2 modulus. So in every modulus definition, we are considering who is inside the modulus, that one should be positive or negative. Who is inside the modulus, that should be positive or negative. Okay. So you can write this. So what happens here? This directly comes out when who is positive? When this inside thing is positive. When x plus 2 is positive, which means always subject x, when x is greater than minus 2. When x is greater than minus 2. Here, you get the minus of this. So when it is the minus, always use a bracket. The minus of this. Minus of this. So you get minus x minus 2. You get it when x plus 2 is less than 0. When x is less than minus 2. So you get this when x is less than minus 2. Okay, hands up who wrote this properly. Okay. Now you got the idea. Okay, then do these two. Question number 4, y equals 2x minus 1 modulus. Y equals 3x plus 2 modulus. Write the definition. Okay. So here you directly get this one. When this is positive, so when 2x minus 1 is positive. So here when you subject it, so always subject x here when x is greater or less than half. You get the minus of this. So it's minus 2x plus 1 when what is inside this? When it is negative. So from here you get that when x is less than half. So when you can directly write this, that is okay. So there are some students I know, they can directly write this inequality. So write it, that is okay. Because that is what I require as the final one. So here what do we require? When x is greater than half, x is less than half. That's all. So you don't have to show this in this way. If you can directly write it in this way, that's good. Like I need everyone to come to that stage. We'll be even doing that after a few questions where you can directly write the inequality. Okay, clear. Got it? No? And then here you get the same one. When 3x plus 2 is positive, which means x is greater or equal to minus 2 over 3. But you get the minus of this. When 3x plus 2 is less than 0, means x is less than minus 2 over 3. Minus 3x minus 2. So this is the final inequality I want. When x is greater or equal to minus 2 over 3, you get 3x plus 2. When it is less than minus 2 over 3, you get minus 3x minus 2. Clear? Got it? Okay, hands up who wrote this. Good. Now you know the idea. So what happens in a modulus? Who's inside the modulus? It comes in the same way if the thing inside is positive. Positive now. That's all. Then it becomes negative and comes out when it is negative. මේ ඇතුළින් ඉන්නේ කවුද? එයා එහෙමම එළියට එනවා. එයා positive නම් එයා minus වලින් වැඩි වෙලා එනවා. එයා negative නම්. That's all. So same. Okay, now if you got the idea, okay, now write the definition of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Y equals modulus x plus 1. So if you can write this correctly, that means you have perfectly got the idea of a modulus. Write the definition. So definition is removal of the modulus sign. Okay. So here, what I told you, the definition of a modulus is it directly comes out when it is positive and it becomes minus when it is negative. So simply that is the modulus. Okay, now tell me what comes out as directly the same answer and what comes out as the minus answer is what is inside the modulus. No? Modulus එකෙන් එළියට x හරි minus x හරි කවුරු ආවත් එන්නේ modulus එක ඇතුලේ ඉන්න කෙනා. So here plus 1 is someone outside. Plus 1 is someone outside. If you think about the auntie in your neighborhood or the next door auntie, that person can't impact so whatever the administration inside your house. No. your mother can like do any impact. එයාගේ දර කරන්න කරන්න පුළුවන් අර උස්සන්න පුළුවන් අම්මා ඇවිල්ලා අපේ පුතා he got maths how many marks your son is doing combined maths no how's your marks එයාගේ දරන්න how's your marks I got around 50 auntie really my son got 80 85 then your mother get fired okay you like the next door auntie can do a huge impact in Sri Lankan culture but normally if you think in a normal Western culture even people simply don't know who is living in the next door. So there are those cultures. So simply, your mother can do an impact inside your house. So when your mother goes to the next house, she can't do any impact there. But a typical next door auntie, hagedara auntie puluang can do an impact, but I'm talking in general. So always keep in mind the modulus can only impact to who is inside the modulus. The modulus can't change who is outside the modulus. Which means in the both instances, +1 will remain as +1. Clear? +1 whose exterior to the modulus will be +1 in both instances. Clear? Because anyone who is out of the modulus will not be impacted by the modulus. But then modulus x comes as x, it comes as -x. You now tell me, modulus x comes as x when it is positive. When who is positive? X plus 1. X plus 1. No, when who is positive? When x is positive. So modulus x becomes x when x is positive. A modulus x becomes -x is x is negative. So here +1 will be the same. Got it? +1 and +1 will be the same. Okay, then put a red hands up who wrote this. Hello? Okay, good. So never mind. So if you couldn't write it from this one, let's learn. So write this and put a arrow near to this +1 and write in this way. First, write the definition. First, write the definition. Okay. And then put a red arrow near this +1. Red arrow near this +1. And write in this way. The modulus cannot do any impact. The modulus cannot do any impact to the terms out of the modulus. To the terms out of the modulus. To the terms out of the modulus. Okay. Then based on that, write this definition. Y equals, so y is simply, so like forget about y if you haven't. If you have written the y, that's okay. But if you haven't, just keep in that way. No any change, just I put a y equals. Just write in this. Write the definition. Okay, so what is the definition here? Same thing. X minus 2 directly comes out. +3 will be the same in both instances. +3 will be +3. X minus 2 directly comes out and you can simplify these two. So it's x plus 1. This directly comes out when x minus 2 is greater or equal than 0. That means when x is greater or equal to 2. And then it becomes minus. It becomes minus. When x minus 2 is negative, means x is less than 2. So you get -x plus 2 plus 3. You get -x plus 5. Clear. So you get the two ones. When x is greater than 2, it's x plus 1. When x is less than 2, you get -x plus 5. Wrote it, no? Hands up. So everyone. Okay, so everyone's there. Good. And then let's write two more. Write y equals 2 times modulus x. Write the definition. And then y equals 3 times x minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so here, what is this 2? That means that this modulus x is multiplied by 2. No? So that is even someone who's outside. So when in both instances, it will be 2 into and 2 into. That's all. Same thing. So when x is positive, it directly comes out x, but you don't have to write in this way. You can write this, okay, you get 2x. When it is negative, you get minus x. So you don't have to write this in this way. It becomes minus 2x. So you get 2x. When x is greater or equal to 0, you get minus 2x. When x is less than 0. Clear? So here, like in both instances, it was 2 into and 2 into. So why did this becomes minus 2? That is because 2 into minus x. Clear? Okay. And then here, same thing. You get 3 times, you get the exact in x minus 1. You get 3 times x minus 1 plus 1. When x minus 1 is equal to greater than 0, or x is greater than 1. So when you simplify this, 3x minus 3 plus 1. So you get 3x minus 2. So it's like this, when x is greater than 1, you get 3x minus 2. And when it is negative, when this one, the one inside the modulus is negative, you get the minus of that. So it's minus 3 times x minus 1 plus 1. Minus 3x plus 3 plus 1, it's minus 3x plus 4 when x minus 1 is less than 0, when x is less than 1. So that means when x is less than 1, you get minus 3x plus 4. You get minus 3x plus 4. Okay, you got the idea? No hands up who wrote this. You know the interesting one? Write the definition of y equals minus modulus x. Okay. Okay. So here, what is meant by this minus? So inside the modulus, you have a minus. Okay, now look at this. Not inside. In front of the modulus, you have 2. So what is the meaning of this 2? Tell me, what is the meaning of this 2? It's 2 into multiplied by 2. So here, in front of the modulus, you have minus. So what is meant by that minus? It's multiplied by minus 1. So same thing happens. This is a minus, and minus is there in both instances. Same like you have 2 into 2 into. In both instances, you have minus. So forget about this. Forget about this. Modulus x becomes x when x is greater or equal to 0. So modulus x becomes x when it is greater than 0. But there was a minus which came from the coefficient. But this minus does not affect the modulus definition, because the modulus of x is x. If you forget about this, same thing. But the difference is that you have been given a minus. So here, when x is negative, what you get is minus x. When x is negative, you get minus x. When x is less than 0. And then it becomes minus minus is plus. This becomes minus minus is plus. So here, the definition is in the same way, but this minus, change this to minus x, and this is this one into x. Okay, then write this y equals 2 minus modulus x minus 1. For the definition, y equals 2 minus modulus x minus 1. Okay, so same thing. In both instances, we have 2 minus and 2 minus. In both instances, we have 2 minus, 2 minus. So here, if you forget about this 2 minus, what is the definition of modulus x minus 1? Is it becomes directly x minus 1 when x minus 1 is positive. When x minus 1 is positive, you directly get x minus 1. So this is the definition that we know. We have even written this before. But the difference is there is a 2 minus here. There is a 2 minus here. So when you simplify, it's 2 minus x plus 1. So 3 minus x. Which means when x is greater or equal to 1, you get 3 minus x. Same thing, when you forget about this becomes negative. This becomes negative when x minus 1 is negative. Means when x is less than 1. But the difference here is it's not x minus 1, you got a 2 minus before this. So then it is 2 minus, so I know minus and minus, it becomes 2 plus. Minus and minus, it becomes 2 plus. So how did you get plus? 2 minus was there initially, and then you get a minus from the modulus definition, then it is minus minus is plus, and you get x plus 2 minus 1 is plus 1. So when x is less than 1, you get this is equal to x plus 1. Okay, hands up who got question number 11, 3 minus x, x plus 1. Okay, few have mistaken it, no? Okay. Then do these two question number 12, y equals, so do this properly, 3 minus 2x minus 1, and do y equals x minus 1 plus x. Write the definition of these two. So if you have, if you couldn't get number 11, you have to do number 12 properly. Okay, so same thing like the previous one. 3 minus is initially there. So when this is positive, you get 2x minus 1. That is when 2x minus 1 is greater or equal than 0, which means when x is greater or equal than half. So when you simplify this, you get minus 2x, minus minus 1 is plus, so you get 4 minus 2x. And here it becomes like 3 minus is initially there. It becomes minus, so minus minus is plus 2x minus 1. You get it when 2x minus 1 is less than 0, means x is less than half. So when you simplify this, it's 2x, 3 minus 1 is plus 2. Okay, this one, the same thing, only difference, it's not a number here, but it is a digit, it's x. So I told you, a modulus can only impact what is inside the modulus. A modulus can only impact what is inside the modulus. So in both instances, plus x will remain as plus x. Clear? It will be plus x. In both instances, this plus x is plus x. No any change because it is out of the modulus. X minus 1 directly becomes x minus 1. When x minus 1 is greater or equal to 0, which means when x is greater or equal to 1. So here you get 2x minus 1. And in this one, it becomes minus. It becomes minus when it is negative. So when x is less than 1. So this is minus x plus 1 plus x. So you're getting a quite different one, just 1. So here only remaining thing will be 1. So then you can say when x is greater than 1, the function is 2x minus 1. And when x is less than 1, the function is 1. Got it? No? Okay, hands up who got 12 and 30. Okay, so it's not good to stop in odd numbers. So let's do one more. 14. So last one under modulus definitions, do y equals 3x minus 1 plus 2x. Write the definition of modulus 3x minus 1 plus 2x. Okay, so same as the previous one, 2x will remain unchanged in both instances. So it's 3x minus 1 directly comes out when 3x minus 1 is positive, which means when x is greater or equal to 1 over 3, 3x minus 1 directly comes out. So you get 5x minus 1 there. The next one is you get 3x minus 1 is less than 0, means x is less than 1 over 3. So when it is negative, this becomes negative, minus 3x minus 1. But I told you in both instances, 2x will remain as 2x. So it's minus 3x plus 1 plus 2x. You get minus x plus 1. So when it is x is greater than 1 over 3, you get 5x minus 1. And when x is less than 1 over 3, you get y is equal to minus x plus 1. Clear? So this is how you define a modulus function. So what is meant by defining a modulus function? That we need to remove the modulus sign. The removal of the modulus sign is known as the definition of a modulus. Clear? Okay, I'll give you 1 minute, drink some water and have a small chat. Okay. Okay, silence. Now write a subtopic. Okay, silence. Okay, write a subtopic. Sketches of straight lines. Write a subtopic. Sketches of straight lines. Sketches of straight lines. Okay. So here now what we did so far, we have defined the modulus function. And the next step is, after defining this modulus function, the next step is that we are going to draw the modulus graph. So we are going to sketch the modulus graph. So that's why I tell you, like every time, even year by year, even we are improving. We means the tutors are improving, or what I say is that we should improve. For example, I started doing classes, the single medium classes for the 2022 batch. No? But 22 and 23 both were online batches. So what did I do? First, we discuss about the definition of a modulus. And then straight away, I started to draw modulus functions. So without doing this part, how to sketch a straight line, I didn't do this part. I just directly went to the sketches of modulus functions. So when it is online, we don't know whether the student understood or not. I can't see your faces. So when it is online class, I don't know. So when it is online class, I don't know whether like you understood this or not, because I can't see your faces. And even like we can't get like, let's say the cameras are on, but yet I can't say I can properly read your emotions. No? But here now when it is a physical class, okay, I can see whether you understood it or not. And I'm asking you to raise your hand. The reason, so that is the main reason I'm asking you to raise your hand. Because let's say now I'm giving a question. We do like 3-4 questions and I'm asking you to raise your hand. And I can see that everyone has raised their hand, but there are a few students who haven't raised their. So I'm just marking those students, even the class is big, or even in the Sinhala medium class, I do the same. I just mark few students, few areas where I can see less number of hands raised. And then I'm doing another question. So I'm not stopping from there. I'm doing another question. And then next time when I ask you to raise your hand, okay, then I'm looking specifically at them because the others have already understood. Okay, now they are raising their hand. Now I know like at least more than 95% of the class have clearly understood this. So in a physical class, we can read that. So that's what I'm telling you. Even I'm asking a small question, like when I'm asking you if you have completed that and answer that question, if I'm asking you a question and if I ask you to raise your hand, do that. We don't have to raise hand for this one. We have done more questions than this. Over the kare ඉඩමක් තිබ්බ ඉඩම තාත්තා දුන්න පහට තුනට දෙකට දාලා ඉතුරු ටික නංගිටත් දීලා ඒ ගණන් අපි හැදුවා. So we have done questions where your father had the land and father has divided the land into 5:2:3, and even you had a sister, even she got a portion. And ඉතුරු ටික අම්මට දීපේකේ ගාන කීයද කියලා ඒ ඔක්කොමත් අපි හැදුවා. So modulus functions, so what are these? Like you might have the mindset. So that is okay for now that you are having that mindset. That is completely okay. But if I ask you, okay, raise your hand. If you have done it, raise your hand. Because that is how I need the feedback when I'm explaining. So in the 2022-23, luckily they were online batches. Later we started physically after this corona. But initially when I was doing this lesson, it was a online class. So I didn't know whether they understood or not. And then when we start the 2024 class batch, that was the first physical class, completely physical class. So when we started that class, now I did this defining these modulus functions. And then I went to draw this modulus graph. So when I'm drawing this modulus graph, so here you need to draw the straight lines of y equals x plus 1, y equals 2x plus 1, y equals minus x plus 1 plus 3. You need to have the knowledge of drawing these straight lines, what we have done for O levels. In O levels, we have done this, no? But somehow a majority of the students even here can't remember it. So in the 2024, I only realized, now I did this and I drew few straight lines. And when I was walking along the classroom, I can see students are just looking in this way. Like there were many students who are looking this side, drawing in these different shapes. Then only I realized, even though you have done straight lines for O levels, when I ask you to draw this, you can't remember that. So, okay, so that's why I told you, today you can't say, so I didn't understood this one. I was absent last week. I'm a newcomer because even I'm doing that part and then only I'm coming to modulus function. So from 2024 onwards, I even added that part in modulus functions where I'm reminding you how to sketch a straight line. Okay, so this is how we do this. Clearly, okay, and everyone, clearly listen. Huh? So I want to sketch the straight line y equals x plus 1. Okay, this is what I want to draw. And in O levels, if I can remember, you found around 5 to 6 points. No, in a graph paper, you mark around 5 to 6 points. No, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, and then only you draw the straight line. But here, I don't want 6 or 5 points. I only want 2 points. That's all. So we are going to draw a straight line based on 2 points. And later next week or in the third week, I only require 1 point. Other one guy. Okay, only we need 2 points today. But in the third week, we only need 1 point to draw the straight line. So that is how we narrow down it. So this is what we have to do. Okay, listen, this is all. You don't have to take 6 points. Just do this in this way. One is easily you can say, tell me what is this 1 plus 1? What is that of the straight line? Can remember? Y equals mx plus c. What is c? It's the intercept. Okay, so intercept means you know that it will be intersecting this one. So that you know 1 point. It's the intercept. This is the intercept. So already you know 1 point. And then you can find another point easily. You can substitute any value. If you put x equals 1, I get y is equal to 1 plus 1 is 2. Y is equal to 1 plus 1 is 2. So the coordinate there, it's 1, 2. Coordinate there is 1, 2 because x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2. So then you know when x equals 1, the y value is equal to 2. So when you know 2 points, that is enough to sketch the straight line. Because when you join these 2 points, when you join these 2 points, you get the straight line. Okay, what is the straight line? It's y equals x plus 1. So this is how you sketch a straight line using 2 points, only 2 points. One is easily the intercept, and the other one is you can substitute any value. It may be x equals 2, 3, 4, any value. I have gone with x equals 1, then y is equal to 2, mark the point 1, 2, and then you can draw this. So we require 2 points. We only require 2 points to sketch the graph of a straight line. So this is how we do this. Clear? Or O level wage, you don't have to do this in this way. Can remember x, y, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 8 madi. 1, 2, 3, none. Only 2 points are enough. Okay, right in this way, to sketch the graph of a straight line, to sketch the graph of a straight line, coordinates of 2 points, coordinates of 2 points is sufficient. Coordinates of 2 points is sufficient. Coordinates of 2 point, 2 points is sufficient. Okay. Okay, then put y equals x plus 1. And then the intercept, you can mark that. And I have taken 1 point. So y equals x plus 1. And I have taken the intercept 1. And when x equals 1, y equals 2. So we have got the coordinate 1 and 2. Then after this, draw the sketches of y equals x plus 2, y equals 2x minus 1, y equals minus x plus 1, y equals minus 2x plus 3. Draw the sketches of these four. So in each, you can take the intercept, and it's not a must that you have to go with x equals 1. You can take any other coordinate, any other x value, and get the other point. Silence, do the work. Take one x value, because you already know the intercept. No? So that means you already know 1 point. And then, okay, so draw one by one. Second one, y equals x plus 2. So then I know the intercept is 2. So you can go with the other one. X is equal to 1, then y is equal to 3. 1 plus 2, no? Coordinate is 1, 3. Okay, so you can draw it here, no? Y and x. For now, let's go in this way, but when I start drawing the modulus functions, I'll be asking you to find one specific point because of a reason. So here, you know, the intercept is 2. It goes through this point 2. And when x is equal to 1, you get y. You get y is equal to 3. So then draw the straight line which goes through these 2 points. It is so every time after sketching a straight line, write the equation. So this is y equals x plus 2. Next one, y equals 2x minus 1. Intercept is minus 1, and if you go with x equals 1, y is equal to 2 minus 1 is even 1. That means it goes through the point 1, 1. X. Okay, so the intercept is minus 1, so it's coming from here, and when x equals 1, it's plus 1. So you need to draw the straight line which goes through these 2 points. And then write the name y equals 2x minus 1. Next one, y, silence, silence, silence. Iverna kata. Next one, y equals x plus 1, not x plus 1, minus x plus 1. No? So when you go with x equals 1, y becomes 0. Minus 1 plus 1, you get 0. So the coordinate is 1, 0. Intercept is 1. Intercept is 1. It goes through this point, and then when x equals 1, y is 0. I means this point. Now consider the straight line that goes through these 2 points. You get y equals minus x plus 1. Okay. Last one, y equals minus 2x plus 3. Here the intercept is 3, and if you go with x equals 1, minus 2 plus 3 gives you 1. So that coordinate is 1, 1. Okay, now consider the intercept. Consider the intercept. You get it's 3, the intercept is 3, and it goes through 1, 1. Okay. Then consider the straight line which goes through these 2 points. You get y equals minus 2x plus 3. You can name it as y equals minus 2x plus 3. Okay, got the answers? No? Okay. So here it's clear what is in front of this x. What do we call this? What is in front of the, what is the coefficient of x? We call it as the, tell me, the gradient. Y equals mx plus c. What is m is a gradient. No. So here if you can remember, when it is a positive gradient, the straight line is in this way. So every straight line here, the gradient is positive. It's 1. The straight line goes in this way. The gradient is positive. The straight line goes in this way. The gradient is positive. It goes in this way. So when it is a positive gradient, it always go in this direction. Here. When it is a negative gradient, it goes in this direction. When it is a negative gradient, it goes in this direction. So when you draw this straight line, just look at the gradient, and if it is a negative one, your line should be in this way. When it is a positive one, your line should be, yeah, this way. Clear? Got it? Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Like if there's anything you need to note down then and complete the work up to here. Okay. Okay, now write the main topic of the lesson. Okay, silence. Write the main topic. Silence, silence. Modulus, modulus graphs. Write the main topic. Modulus graphs. Main topic, modulus graph. Okay. Modulus graphs. Okay. Okay, so here, now look at this. So this is the main topic of the lesson. So now I'm using the tute. Question number 1, first question. So turn the tute. If you have the A3 paper, it's only 1. If you have the basic algebra tute, turn to modulus functions, and I'm referring to the first question. And what we have to do here, we need to sketch the graph of y equals modulus x. Okay, okay. Look at the board now. Stop working. Sit properly. Okay, not sleep, yeah? I'll ask to reduce the AC. Okay, he's awake. So I have just noted few students who used to be like every time they are sleeping. So I'm only just looking at them. So if they are awake, so that those are my like sleeping meters. So if those are awake, the entire class is awake. He's awake, he's awake, and she's awake. Okay, so we have three for now in this class. So if those, I'm only looking at them. So if they are awake, all others should be awake. Huh? ඒගොල්ලෝ හැරලා ඉන්නවා කියන අනිත් කට්ටිය හැරලා ඉන්න බෝනේ. හරි අනිත් කට්ටිය නිදා ගන්න බෑ. ඒගොල්ලෝ හැරලා ඉන්නවා. Okay? Okay. Now in this, I need to draw the graph of this. So first what we do, write the definition. So the definition that I know, we have written 14 definitions. It's x when x is greater or equal to 0, it's minus x when x is less than 0. So now what we need to do, we need to sketch two straight lines on the same Cartesian plane. What are the two straight lines? One is y equals x, and the other one is y equals minus x. Other one is y equals minus x. Now what we need to do, first define the modulus function or write the definition, and then I need to draw the two straight lines on the same Cartesian plane. So use a pencil. So I'm going to draw the straight lines on the same Cartesian plane. Okay, so here it's y equals x. So that means, okay, tell me what is the intercept here? Y equals x. There is no plus, that means the intercept is 0. It goes through the origin. So we know 1 point. You can take the other point when x equals 1, y is equal to 1. So you know the coordinate, it's 1 and 1. So you can mark the other coordinate. You can mark the other coordinate, this one, and draw the graph. Okay, this is y equals x. So soon after you draw a graph, make sure you name it. This is y equals x. And next one is y equals minus x. So before you sketch the graph, we know, it's minus x. So the gradient is minus. So you are supposed to get a straight line in this direction. So you know it before you sketch the graph. Same thing, the intercept is 0. It goes through this point. You can take any point, but since I have used 1 pretty often, I take it. Then y is equal to minus 1. Which means it's 1 minus 1. So when x equals 1, you get minus 1. Then you have 2 points and draw the straight line that goes through these 2 points. Draw the straight line that goes through these 2 points. Name it. This is y equals minus x. Okay. So this is the first step of sketching a modulus function, a modulus graph. Define the graph. Then you need to draw 2 straight lines, and on the same Cartesian plane, you have to draw the 2 straight lines. Okay, right in this way, when sketching the graph of a modulus function, when sketching the graph of a modulus function, we need to sketch the straight lines. We need to sketch the straight lines we get. We need to sketch the straight lines we get from the definition of a modulus. We get from the definition of a modulus on the same Cartesian plane. On the same Cartesian plane, we need to sketch the straight lines we get from the definition of modulus on the same Cartesian plane. Okay, then keep 2 lines and then do first question. Just keep 2 lines because I need to complete the note. Do the first question, y equals modulus x. So we have this way. Take the two straight lines and draw on the same Cartesian plane. Okay, do this. Question number 1. So if you even didn't get the A3 paper for now, just share it by next week. If you're a newcomer, you can get all the tunes from the cashier. Silence, silence, just do the work. Tane Mekano, do it alone. Easy lesson. I told you we need to get a good start from here. Forget about the previous ones. Nikai, logo to hitwene aatalaga maths karanna. So you didn't give a proper attention, but let's start from here. Okay. Okay, now look at this, the most important part, what I'm going to write in the two remaining rules. So here, it's clear we have sketched this straight line. Okay, now listen. You can just note this down. Make a mama khan. So this is y equals x and this is y equals minus x. No. But it's clear y is equal to x only when x is greater or forget about equal. Y is equal to x only when x is greater than 0. No. So here I have considered the entire y equals x line. From here it goes to infinity. From here even it goes to infinity. Okay. So here it's clear that y is equal to x only when x is greater than 0. Which means this straight line is only valid when x is greater than 0. When x is greater than 0. So this straight line is only valid when x is greater than 0, which means this part is not valid because y equals x is only valid when x is greater than 0. So this part is not valid. So you can either mark it as a dotted line or you can simply erase it. You can either erase it or you can use a dotted line. And then here, wait, no, listen. Okay. So here, y is equal to minus x. So this is y equals minus x only when x is less than 0. So when x is less than 0, the only this line is valid. So when x is greater than 0, so here it is 0. This is x is greater than 0 range. This is x is less than 0 range. So this one is only valid when x is less than 0, which means this part is invalid. This part is invalid, so you have to mark this in a dotted line. So normally we don't completely take it out because I have used this point when I'm drawing this. But next day I'll tell you, I told you, we can sketch this graph only using one point. Okay, next week I told you we'll be learning how to sketch these straight lines only using one point. That is okay, but for now, just keep this as a dotted line because we have used this point to draw this line. Okay, now it is clear. Here, we have y equals x when x is greater than 0, and we have y equals minus x when x is less than 0. So this graph is this when x is less than 0, but when x is greater than 0, it goes in this way. And this V-shaped graph is the graph of y equals modulus x. This V-shaped graph is the graph of y equals modulus x. Clear? Okay, so that is the graph of y equals modulus x. Y equals modulus x is not this one. It's not this one. It is this V-shaped graph. Okay. Then we have to select the paths based on the definition in this diagram. Then come to the previous definition. I asked you to keep two rules. So before drawing this one, we have written few lines, and then I asked you to keep two rules, and then in that one, write in the next line means the next rule. Write it this way. After sketching the straight lines, we need to consider We need to consider the validity of each line, the validity of each line in different ranges, the validity of each line in different ranges based on the definition. We need to consider the validity of each straight line in different ranges based on the definition. Okay. Okay, then what you have to do, if you have used a pencil, just show it as a dotted line. If you have used the pen, even when I told you to use a pencil, then use Tipex or something to convert it into a dotted line. I told you to use a pencil. No? So if you have used a pen, Tipex gala, make it a dotted line. Then after 3 months, like it will be a normal line anyways, when the Tipex fade away. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to explain even the next one. So I need you to do the next one alone. So I'll be explaining this one. Okay, now look at this. Look at the board. I'm not erasing this one. Y equals modulus x minus 2. Okay, listen this. Listen. No, no, no. Okay, everyone look at the board. No one's sleeping. Huh? Okay, pay attention. So next one, you need to do this properly. Yeah. Okay. So don't say in that way. Like even like I'm having problems because like now these days when what you see in all these and you must have seen that Elon Musk has openly asked to like people to boycott to stop watching Netflix because of a particular reason. And like in nowadays generation in the news that what we hear, what we see, like we think of that thing, and when you act in that way, even that makes me gives me goosebumps. Whenever, so I'm having a doubt. Okay, like there was like this one in this way, so romantic way, but it gives me goosebumps because I'm not in this generation where okay, okay, yeah, yeah, we can do that. Those are human needs. We all are okay. Okay. Okay, background huh? Okay. Okay, now look at the board. Here, I need to draw this one y equals modulus x minus 2. So first when I bring up a topic, you are so interested and then you keep talking about that, no? So here first write the definition. First write the definition. What is the definition? So here it's x minus 2. And since we have written the definitions, I'll directly write it. No, never mind, let's write it minus x minus 2. So it's minus x plus 2. This happens like now if you can write this directly, write this. When x is greater than 2, x minus 2 is greater than 0 and x is greater than 2. X minus 2 is less than 0, then x is less than 2. So now I know I'll be considering the validity of these straight lines based on these ranges. Okay. Then I need to sketch the straight lines y equals x minus 2 and y equals minus x plus 2. So I need to sketch the straight lines of these two. So now I'm going to limit you to one thing. Now we are going to draw this y equals x minus 2. No? Okay. So when it is y equals x minus 2, one thing you know that the gradient is minus 2. Okay, that you can use. So previously when you were drawing these straight lines, I gave you the freedom to think about any value, think about any coordinate. So you had the freedom to substitute any x value and find the particular coordinate. But here I'm going to limit you. I'll tell you the reason after this one. When you are finding a coordinate, always find the coordinate at this turning point. So here the turning point, it's clear it's x is equal to 2 no? Because when x is greater than 2, the function behaves in one way, and when x is less than 2, the function behaves in another way. So here we say that 2 is a turning point. A turning point. It changes the behavior of the graph. The graph came in this way. Here it was 0. The graph came in this way, and then it changes its nature and goes in this way. Clear? So here we call it as the turning point. Okay, now I'm going to limit you. Find the substitute the value, substitute this turning point. So not any point. Don't go with x equals 1, x equals 3 minus 1. I'll tell you the reason after this. So every time substitute the coordinate value, the turning point. X equals 2. When x equals 2, y is equal to 2 minus 2 is 0. Then you have the point 2, 0. I'll tell you the reason why I'm asking you to substitute the turning point. Find the coordinate at the turning point. So when x equals 2, this is 0. So it goes through this point. Then you can draw the straight line, join in these 2 points in this way. Draw it like a straight line. Use your ruler, not your debit cards, UKM ID. Use a ruler. Okay. You don't have credit cards, no. So debit card or COKM ID, national ID, don't use those. If you haven't wrote a ruler today, use them. But I can't see when I come near to you, I can't see in these way. I can see these vipers, snakes going in this way. Okay, I can see those graphs. Huh? Okay, then we have y equals x minus 2. So next one, the intercept is 2. The intercept is 2, which means it goes through the point 2. So what did I ask you? I have limited you to the turning point. Find the value when x equals 2. You get y equals minus 2 plus 2 is 0. So even that goes through 2, 0. Okay. Then it even goes through this point. You need to draw the straight line which goes through these 2 points. So it's in this way. This is y equals minus x plus 2. So that you have the idea. But I know x equals 2 is this one, y equals x minus 2. Sorry, x minus 2. That is valid only when x is greater than 2. It is valid only when x is greater than 2. When x is greater than 2, only this line is valid. Because this is the turning point. That means this part is not valid. You can completely take it out, but I'll just show it in a dotted line because I have used this point. But it is completely okay, even though you have used that point. If you erase this, that is even no problem at all. So this is only the valid one. And even next one, y equals minus x plus 2 is only valid when x is less than 2. This is only valid when x is less than 2. When x is less than 2, which means this part is not valid. So this V-shaped graph is what we consider as y equals x minus 2. And this one is the turning point. This one is the turning point. Because the behavior, the nature of the graph has been completely changed at that point. It came in this way, and then changes the direction and goes in this. Okay, hands up who got a clear understanding about how to sketch a modulus graph. Okay, then do number 2. I'll explain this. The reason for now, just put x equals 2 and draw the straight lines, and I'll tell you the reason after this one. Okay. So here I have used the interceptor. One point is 2, 0. The other one is the intercept. In here, the intercept is minus 2. In here, the intercept is plus 2. Here, the intercept is plus 2. So then when you know 2 points of a straight line, you can sketch the straight line. Okay, clear? Okay, I'll give it a few moments. Do it, complete it. I'll then explain why we need to take the coordinates of the turning points. Okay, now look at this. Now, listen. The reason, listen, okay, stop talking. The reason why I'm asking you to find the coordinates of the turning point. So let's say here you find the coordinates of the turning point and you get the intercept. So here you mark these 2 this in this way, and this is minus 2, and then you mark the straight line in this way. You mark the straight line in this way. And then you name it as y equals x minus 2. So here you have taken the coordinate of the coordinates of the turning point, and you have used the intercept. Okay, and let's say that here you have that for sure we are using the intercept. No, using the intercept is a normal thing. We do that. That is the easiest one, no? Because you can mark a point without even finding this. So here the easiest one is to mark the intercept. Is that clear? Okay. And now what you do here is instead of substituting the turning point, instead of finding the coordinates of the turning point, you go with another value. You put x equals 1, minus 1 plus 2 is plus 1. And then you get, okay, the other coordinate is 1, 1. So you have got the other coordinate as 1, 1. And then you mark 1, 1 in this way. The main reason why I'm asking you to find the coordinates of the turning point is because we are not going to use a graph paper here. We are just drawing this Cartesian plane, even not in a square rule paper. For now, you must be using square rule books. But in the A-level paper, when you write in paper, you are supposed to do that in a single rule paper. So you are going to draw this graph on a single rule paper, which means you are not using a scale. If it is a graph paper, then you can say, okay, like 5 squares are representing 1 unit. You have a scale. Then it won't be a problem. But here, you are not using a scale or a graph paper. So you are just using your single rule book. And now, if you draw the line that is joining these two, you draw this in this way. You draw this in this way. But when I got this, I saw, okay, even here, this straight line is going through this point. And now we are not going to use a graph paper, you are doing it this way. And now you are checking the validity, and then you are going to do this. When x is greater than 0, only this y equals x minus 2 is valid. So from here onwards, it's not valid. You take it out. And when x is less than 0, sorry, less than 2, when x is less than 2, only this line is valid. Then you take it out after this one. So then you get a graph in this way, which is wrong because that is not the graph you're supposed to get. You're supposed to get this graph. To avoid this mistake is why I told you, when you are, anyway, you have to find a coordinate. No, I'm not asking you to do an additional thing. Anyway, you wake up. Nidhi, I'll give you interval after this. Okay, stay in a good fresh mood. I know you're tired most after school. Okay, but let's do okay. Only this one, then I'll be giving an interval. And I'm not asking you to do an additional thing. What I'm asking you to do, anyways, you have to find the coordinate. No? So I'm telling you to find the coordinate of the turning point. That's all. Then this is the correct one and this is the wrong one. Then it will avoid you of getting graphs in this way. Because in both instances, you have taken that it should be going through the point 2, 0, the turning point. Clear? So when you are finding the coordinate, always go with the turning point. Put a red star mark and write in a red pen in this way. Put a red star mark and write in this way. Red pen. Write this from the red pen. When finding the coordinates of points, when finding the coordinates of points, to sketch the straight lines, we need to find the coordinates. We need to find the coordinates. We need to find the coordinates of the turning point. We need to find the coordinates of the turning point. Okay. So in the diagram, if you haven't marked it, mark this, the turning point. So turning point is basically which changes the behavior or the direction of the graph. That is the turning point. Okay. And one last thing before the interval. This one, it's clear this modulus function is defined in different ways in different intervals. Now, if you consider a normal function, I'm writing a normal function y equals x plus 1. So throughout the entire Cartesian plane, this will become y equals x plus 1. For example, from minus infinity to plus infinity, you are getting the same equation, same straight line. But it is clear in this modulus one, in this interval or in this range, it has been defined in one way. You get y equals minus x plus 2. Is it clear? But after this one, in this interval or in this range, you get another definition. You get y equals x minus 2. So a modulus graph, it's clear, it has been defined in different ways in different intervals. In different intervals, the modulus function is defined in different ways. So when a function is defined in different ways, in different intervals, different value, when a function is defined, not different, is defined in different ways, in different intervals, we call this function as a piecewise function. We call it as a piecewise function. සිංහලෙන් කියන කඩමනින් ශ්‍රිතයක් කියලා. Piecewise function. So what is a piecewise function? When a function, okay, now tell me, what is a piecewise function? When a function is defined in different ways, in different intervals. In different intervals, when it is defined in different ways, it is known as a piecewise function. So a modulus function is a piecewise function because modulus has been defined in different ways in different intervals. Okay, next star mark and write in a normal pen. Next star mark, write in a normal pen. When a function has been defined, when a function has been defined in different ways, in different ways, in different ranges or intervals, both are okay, in different ranges, or you can write even intervals. It is known as a, it is known as a, it is known as a, write in a red pen, piecewise function. Look at the board, Borulian bar. Same වශයෙන් කියලා ලියන්න එපා. It is known as piecewise functions. It is known as a piecewise function. A piecewise function. Then continue with that line. Therefore, a modulus function Therefore, the modulus function is a piecewise function. Therefore, the modulus function is a piecewise function. Okay, then take interval and come by 5:40. Yeah, I have kept the papers. If you haven't collected it last week, the main paper too, you can get it. It's outside. To question number 3. Y equals modulus x plus 3. So it's y equals a modulus x plus 3. First write the definition. The definition is x plus 3 when x is greater or equal to minus 3. Now you can write this directly. And here it becomes minus, means minus x minus 3 when x plus 3 is less than 0. And x is less than minus 3. So you can write it directly, no? Because even here we wrote it, no? So now the turning point is x equals 3. So what are the two straight lines that I need to sketch? It's y equals x plus 3 is one straight line, and the other straight line is y equals minus x minus 3. Y equals minus x minus 3. So one is that you can mark the intercept that we know. The other one is I told you to find the coordinates of the turning point. So when x equals minus 3, you get y is equal to minus 3 plus c is 0. So what is that coordinate? That coordinate is minus 3, 0. And then here even when you go with x equals minus 3, you get y is equal to minus 3 minus 3, which is 3 minus 3. So y is equal to 0. From there, you get that it is minus 3, 0. And then you can sketch the two graphs. So it's more biased to the negative side because the turning point is minus 3. The turning point is minus 3. So it's more biased to the negative side. Minus 3. And when you are sketching this, I know the intercept is 3. And it goes through this minus 3, 0 line. And when you draw the graph, join in these two, it goes in this way. And now, when you are drawing this graph, you know that this is only valid after this point. No? So now you can even use your pen because when you are drawing the straight line, you know this is only valid when x is greater than minus 3. So you can just keep your ruler in these 2 points and draw the line in this way. Even here you can do this. Okay, admit that you need to you are considering that the intercept is minus 3, but you can do this. So it goes through this point. It goes through this point, and when x equals minus 3, it's 0. It goes through this point. So what you can do, you can keep the ruler join in these 2 points. And when you are drawing this in this way, so you keep the ruler and you draw this in this way, you know this is not valid after that one. So you can keep the ruler joining these 2 points. But you can stop the straight line from here because you know that it is only valid when x is less than minus 3. But if you feel it as a bit confusing, just go in the normal way, draw the straight line in this way. But I told you that is even something you can do. Name the straight lines, that is the main thing. Y equals x plus 3. This is y equals minus x minus 3. But I know y equals x plus 3 is only valid when x is greater than, this is the turning point. When this is greater than minus 3, which means this is not valid. And similar, this one, it is only valid when x is less than minus 3, means this is not valid. So you can entirely take it out or you can mark it as a dotted line. So this V-shaped graph becomes y equals modulus x plus 3. Okay, clear. Hands up who got this. Good. Then do the next one, question number 4. Question number 4, y equals modulus 2x minus 1. The definition gives you 2x minus 1 when x is greater or equal to half, and minus 2x minus 1 when x is less than half. So it gives you minus 2x plus 1. So what are the two straight lines that you're supposed to sketch? Is y equals 2x minus 1 and y equals minus 2x plus 1. Okay. So here one is we are using the intercept, and then you can go with the turning point. It's half. X equals half. So when x equals half, it's 2 into half is 1. 1 minus 1, it's 0. means the other coordinate that I'm going to use, or the turning point's coordinate, is half 0. Here, you know the intercept, same thing goes with x equals half. A minus 2 into half plus 1, I get y is equal to 0. And then the same one, it's half 0. Now you can sketch the graph. The turning point is half. So when it's half, it's 0. This is 2x minus 1. So minus 1 goes through here. And then you can draw the straight line which goes in this way. Silence. And name it y equals 2x minus 1. But now when you are drawing this, since you know it is only valid after this point, you can consider that you can keep the ruler and then only draw the part after this one. Because you will be getting marks. You don't be you won't get marks for this dotted line in that way. You only get marks for this part. And here the intercept is plus 1, and even it goes through this point half, and then draw the straight line joining these 2 points. It's y equals minus 2x plus 1. But this one only, this is valid, this part is not valid. So this V-shaped graph gives you y equals modulus 2x minus 1. So every time when you are drawing this, like make sure when the gradient is the coefficient of x, it's positive, the line should be in this way. It may be the inclination can change, but anyways it is in this way. When the gradient or the coefficient of x is minus, it's in this way. Clear? Okay, hands up who got this, everyone. Okay, then do question number 6. Okay, I need 1 minute, not 1 minute, 15 minutes. Stop writing. So last week I told you that we will be giving medals for the students who have performed well in the main paper too. And last time I gave it by my own, I gave the medals. But today I have invited a guest. She is Madam Kanchana Peris, and she used to be a teacher at Visaka Vidyalaya, and now she is currently in at Mahanama College. So her subject is chemistry, your favorite subject, in English medium. So she's mainly teaching in English medium. So madam will be putting the medals. And then she will speak for like 10 to 15 minutes. So stop writing and don't write when this is happening. And I don't want to see anyone talking when I'm giving medals. Just clap, encourage, so give them what they deserve, the students who have performed well. I can't see anyone talking during the medal ceremony. And when madam is talking, I can't see anyone here talking. Okay, you need to give more respect to her than the respect that you are giving to me. Clear? Okay. Okay, so madam will give the medals, and when I call the name, come forward. Okay. Okay, so we have 10th place is Yahya Jabbar from Zahira College. Okay, then 9th place is Tanusha Pereira from Visaka Vidyalaya. Then 8th place, Nadaraja Sharon from Cambridge School of Colombo. But he's not here. Then 7th place is Neha Silva from Holy Family Convent, Bambalapiti. Then we have 6th place, Chamjit Mohan from Royal College. Okay, in the top 5, we have Sanjay Rajkumar from Royal College, and he has got 80 marks. Then we have 4th place, it's Nitesh, no, sorry, Chenuli Masha from Visaka Vidyalaya, 81.42. Then 3rd place, we got Nitesh Tivagaran from Hindu College, 90 marks. And 2nd place is with 93.5 marks, Gajanan Kuganeshan from Royal College. Okay, as first place, it's a perfect 100 marks, Vinya Krishnamurthy from Hindu Ladies College. So she is even the overall first because in the Sinhala medium class, the highest was 96 point something, a girl from Visakha. So she is like the overall first out of 550 students. Okay, so madam will talk to you all for like till she finishes, and I need to. And I'll be watching at you. Madam will be watching at you, and even I'll be watching at you. If I notice someone, I'll be taking him or her in front of like to these rows. You need to listen properly, sit well, check the because this will be some valuable advice. Okay.
So, first of all, I would like to tell you something about the exam. Uh, since you had done several tests with Mandapasa, even you may have noticed that the exam situation is not like your O level. The exam will be really tough. This is one of the hardest exam when it comes to government exams. So be prepared from the beginning itself. If you prepared from the beginning itself, then it won't be a hard thing. Otherwise, if you wait until last moment, like in your O level, we know that most of you had got 9 A's just by doing work maybe in last 3 months or maybe in last 6 months. But A level cannot be done like that. You need to have a continuous work from the beginning itself. Then without any stress, you can get better results. And if you wait until last moment in A level exam, it will be very difficult, and you have a lot of stress about the exam. There are so many things we need to memorize when it's not in the maths, but when it comes to chemistry, especially if you are doing chemistry as a subject. So then there are so many things you need to memorize that cannot be done at the last moment. So and also we have noticed that since you are 2027 batch, most of the students have that enthusiasm of doing A level at the beginning only, but when they get term test mark in the first term or maybe in the second term, most probably the grade 12 third term, they give up. That is because the marks gradually get decreased. That is the normal pattern. It's not easy to score marks when it comes to term test. But if you work from the beginning itself, you can get better marks even in your term test in the school. And also you can do the exam well without having any stress. And the other thing is, I'll mention a little bit about my subject, even chemistry. Uh, I know that most of the math students, they do not like chemistry. Isn't that so? But in the real situation, if we go through the marks in A level exam marks, all the time the student who scored best mark in chemistry are math students, not biology students, unfortunately, except in few years. That is because you know that when you do maths, your thinking pattern will be different from the biology students. Easily we can find out from the marking paper, your answer script from itself, whether you are a bio student or a math student. That is because bio students are get used to write answers in passage form with lot of description, but math students write the answers in point form. One example, in 2014, we marked one paper. He got 99 marks in A level exam. We From the paper itself, from the answer script itself, we decided that or whatever he or she must be a math student because all the answers are given in point form. We note down. By the time 2014, we didn't have any smartphone. So we note down that exam number, and later on we came to know that person became Ireland first in math stream from Jaffna. Uh, that is a characteristic for math students. They are not writing descriptive answers. They give everything in point form, but all the detail, all the required important points are there. So you have a chance, even if you do not like chemistry, all the time we had seen math students only get better marks in chemistry. I think most probably it will be same even with the physics because physics is more related to maths than chemistry. And what do you think? What about the last time has mark in chemistry? Anyone who has idea about the has mark in last time chemistry? කියයි කියලාද ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නේ? අයිඩියා එකක් නැහැ. කීයක් තියෙන්න ඇති කියලා හිතනවද? ගිය පාර එක්සෑම් එකේ වැඩිම කෙමිස්ට්‍රි මාක් එක? Hmm? In almost all the years, there are students who scored marks out of 100, 100 out of 100 for maths. And in chemistry, when it comes to chemistry, most of the years marks will be above 95, but not 100. There are few years only. There were students who scored around 100 out of 100. So what is the last mark? Last year highest mark? There was a one student who scored 100 out of 100 Hitia, and that student is a math student. Yeah, math student. That is because they are get used to give the answer in correct point, and also math students are having better logical thinking ability than biology students. And there was another student who scored 99 out of 100. 199 ගත්ත ළමයෙකුත් හිටියා ගිය අවුරුද්දේ. 100 ගත්ත ළමයෙකුත් හිටියා. එයා math student කෙනෙක්. 199 ගත්ත ළමයා, we couldn't find out whether it's a Sinhala medium paper, maths or biology student. The only mistake that he had done in the paper, you know that you're getting a nomenclature part in the exam in chemistry. මම හිතන්නේ chemistry කරනවද ඔක්කොමලා? Anyone who's doing ICT? Oh, you know. Chemistry karana, you know that you all are having nomenclature part. You need to write the name of a compound. So the only mistake, if you have any idea, you all are supposed to write the name only in simple letters, not like the way of writing our names. Ne? මගේ නම් කාංචනා K capital, P is P capital, ඉතුරු ටික simple. But you can't do it like that when it comes to nomenclature. All the letters must be in simple. So the one who scored 99 out of 100, the only mistake is he had written the name exactly correct, but the first letter is capital. පළවෙනි අකුර capital අකුරක් ලියලා තිබුණා. That is the only mistake in the whole paper. Think work from the beginning itself, and also one of the most important things that 80%, you know that there is a circular had been issued saying that they strictly consider 80%, but anyway, it's depend on the school. Principal only has the authority to allow or not anyone who's not having that 80%. So the best thing that you can do is go as possible as go school by the time grade 12, so then you can cover up that 80%. From the grade 12 itself, you can cover up that 80%. So then if you want to have some time to study in grade 13, so then you can stay at home or you can cover the things. Keep that also in your mind. That is because in some of the school principals, they strictly consider that 80%. Now last time, except one school, in all the other schools, they considered at least 70, 60%. And those who got less than 60 or less than 50, those were asked to apply as a private candidate. Private candidate කෙනෙක් විදියට ලියන්න කියලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට කිව්වා. Now what will happen if you became a private candidate? What will be the disadvantage? Anyone who's having that idea? Now imagine if you are not having 80%, so even after going up to grade 12 in school, you are supposed to do the exam as a private student. What will be the disadvantage? The main disadvantage is you are supposed to write the exam in a different school, which is not familiar to you. Especially imagine if you are a girl who had learned in a girls' school. Maybe you're not getting a girls' school. Instead, you are asked to go to a mixed school to do the exam. So writing exam in a new environment will be something little uncomfortable, no? So that is the main disadvantage. After that, so many students complain that the environment is not good. The other student make harassment, but can't help. That's the way. You are not allowed to do the exam in your own school if you are going to apply as a private candidate. So make sure to maintain that 80%. And the other thing is participate for the term test in the school also. uh, I think that is one of the best way to overcome your exam phobia. Any of us is having some kind of exam phobia. Even if I am supposed to do exam, even at that stage, I'm also having kind of exam phobia. It's a natural thing. Easily that we can overcome by facing for the term test. So try to participate for all the term tests. Whether you are having whatever mark, it doesn't matter. Maybe your parents scold little bit, but do not worry about that. Try to participate for the exam. That is one of the important thing. Do not worry about your mark with other students. No point of comparing your mark with another student. They are having a different background. They are having different capacity. But make sure that all the time you get at least 1 mark higher from your previous mark. Compare all the time your mark with your previous term test mark. Or if it is in the class, compare your mark with the previous mark. If you can get a little bit higher mark than the previous test, so that means you have achieved something. And since your parents are spending a lot, we know that they are spending a lot these days for your school fees and for the tuition fees and for your other things, transport and providing your clothes, shoes, whatever you ask, they will provide. So the only thing that they expect from you to get better results, no? That is because it's not easy to get a degree in private school. Maybe you all are thinking now itself, if I can't do this, I will go to a private university. The thing is, if you want to get a reputed degree from a private university, not all the private universities are accepted when it comes to the job situation. So if you want to get a better or reputed degree, it will cost a lot, at least around 30 lakhs. Maybe some of you can afford that much. Maybe some of you can't afford that much. But you get the same recognized degree from government universities without spending anything. And if your parents are not having government job, then you can apply for Mahapala even. Mahapala, a bursary, you can apply for that. So you get some kind of allowance while doing the degree without spending your money, no? So try to enter to government university. For that, you know that there's a lot of competition. All you need to work hard. Now, when it comes to A level, no need to be intelligent or smart. All you need is only one thing you need. What's that? Throughout these 2 years, you need only one thing. What's that? No need to be that intelligent. No need to be that smart to enter to the university. What is the most important thing? Hmm? The commitment. That is the most important thing. First also commitment, second also commitment, third also commitment. That is because there are a lot of students who scored who became island first in O level, but only in rare situations they became island first in when it come to A level. That is because once they achieve that O level island first, they give up. No, they are having kind of idea that they are bright. No, so there are some other students who work better than those and become island first when it comes to A level. I think that will be enough. So congratulations for you all. So those who didn't get any medal, do not worry about that. You can try next time. All the time, just think, even if you haven't done this time better, you can do it next time better than this. That's all I want to say. Thank you all.
Okay, okay, no silence. So I'll wait, silence. So today, silence. You need to be silent when I'm talking, nah? So Madam spoke few important things. So I'll be next bit. I'll be asking you to do one thing at the end of the class, and when you do that, next week I'll talk about the paper and the marks and all in general. But in this paper, if you have scored something more than 40, that means you have done some kind of work at home. For now, I'm only mentioning that one. If you have scored more than 40, that doesn't mean that if you are 39 that you haven't done work and 41 you have done work. You have done and you haven't. But if you have scored more than like 40, that means you have done some kind of work at home. Because I admit that you can't take 40 marks by just sitting at the class without doing anything at home and then just come in and write in the paper. You won't be able to take more than 50. And the other thing that I like about this class is that we need to have that competition, and because initially, I was planning to give this overall top 10 from both the classes. Like consider all the single medium students and the English medium students and select the top 10 and give medals. But then I have had a doubt about if I do in that way, how many English medium students will end up there. But now I'm pretty sure that next time I can do it because I have asked to upload all the the top 10 list to the group. It's clear that if I even go with the overall top 10 combined English medium, single medium, so that's how you get the Z score. There's no one English medium island first, single medium island first, Tamil medium island first. Even though some tutors they advertise in that way. Okay, this year's English medium island first is mine. But there is no any island first like that. Okay, so that is only island first in all the subjects that part be all the mediums. So even though I make a combined one in the English medium class, there might be 4 to 5 students in the combined list. That's really great. And because the first was from the single medium one was 96 point something, and the second was 85. So all the first three students who got first, second, and third here would have been end up in the first four. So that is really great, and I like the competition because I see some students who were in the top 10 last in the last main paper, they are not in the top 10 this paper. So that is a good sign of as a class, as a tutor, that is a good sign for me because that is the competition. So the students who went out from the top 10, who went out from the top 3 or top 5, they need to make sure, okay, next exam, the next main exam is and in the end of November, then you need to have a target. Okay, by end of November, in the next main paper 3, I'm again coming back to top 10. Even that happened in the single medium class. In the single medium class, if you compare the two top 10 list, main paper 1 and main paper 2, only one girl has been repeated in both the lists. So the entire 9 has been replaced. Entire 9 has been replaced by new set of 9. But initially I thought that they are not coming to the class, but even they have written the paper. Okay, so that is how the competition happens. So everyone, even if like it's okay, like I don't care this mark because we are at the initial stage. So even you got 20 marks for this one, 15 marks, that doesn't matter at all. What matters at the all, how you end this series, how you end this paper series. At the end of 2.5 years, at the end of 2 years, where you'll be placed. So that is what matters. So I don't consider a student who stay like I don't like. I'm happy that one got 100. I'm happy that there are three students who have scored more than 90. As a tutor, I'm happy. As a class, I'm happy. But what matters to me is the end result. I'll give you a good example. Recently, the World Athletic Championships was held in, I guess it was in Tokyo. So it went viral for three reasons. One reason is the 100 meters. The World Championship was won by a Jamaican sprinter. So he was the first Jamaican sprinter after Usain Bolt. Because after Usain Bolt's era and Johan Blake's era, like every time the 100 meters sprint was won by American. But this time it was won by a Jamaican. The first and second places both were Jamaicans, and was American. Niles, he was the favorite of the event. He won the 200 meters, but he lost the 100 meters. That is one reason. The other reason is that there's this event pole vault. You come with a pole and you keep it and you go. And the world record holder is his name is Duplantis, and he's from Sweden. He has broken his own record, I think, for like more than 14 or 15 times. Every time he's increasing 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. So breaking his world record like more, I can't remember whether it is 17 times, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 14 times he has broke his own world record. So he broke it once again. It is not that much. හැමදාම කරනවානේ ඒක අවුලක් නැහැ වගේ. And the main reason why this went viral is because of this. I'll give you the exact timing, so then it is more interesting. Yeah. Okay, so it's here. It's for this marathon event. This marathon event. So hands up who have done health and physical education. Health and physical education for O levels. Saukya, Saukya. Okay, in that one, like we had that, even I did that කොහෙටවත් නැති subject එකක්, but even I did that. In there, we call this full marathon is 42.195 kilometers. Okay, so it is that much is a marathon. මට ගමේ marathon එක kilometer පහ වගේ නෙමෙයි. So here, I forgot the timing again. So at the start of the marathon, I love all cookies. I love. Okay, so here, nice, silence. So here, the normal, like you have seen a marathon, ගමේ අවුරුදු උත්සවයට දැකලා ඇතිනේ. So in a marathon, what happens? Initially, the bunch starts running. And then there might be one person who runs fast, like he's a sprinter. Kilometer එකදී ඌ ආයෙ පස්සට එනවා. He comes back. Okay. So there is a certain point where the winners break from this bunch. Even in cycling races, that happens. The bunch is there, and then suddenly one or two cyclists, or in here the marathon runners, break from the bunch, and then they take the lead. And then there was this German marathon runner. He's from Germany. I'm not telling that he was in lead from the beginning, but after he broke the bunch, the bunch, after he came out from the bunch and he took the lead of the race, he was leading the entire race. So marathon happens outside the city. And then only the last lap, they come inside to the stadium. Not like 5,000, 10,000. 5,000, 10,000 is they are using the same track. No? But the marathon is they run throughout the city and they enter the stadium. And still, this runner from Germany, he's leading this. He's leading the race. The second was a Tanzanian runner. He's from Tanzania. So you might be having a question like normally when we talk about long distance runners, what comes to our mind is African runners, Somalia, Ethiopia, Kenya. So even the German runner was a migrant. He has gone from an African country. He's not a German born one. Like he has those genes. I don't know whether he's German born, but he probably looks like a migrant. So then even he's from, he was leading the race. And then he comes to the final 400 meters where we have to run in the track. Not the 400, I don't know whether 300 or 200. Now he's running in the track. He's still leading. In normal, in a marathon race, the first place comes. The people are holding this the celebration one. He breaks that. And again, when the second one is coming, they have time to again keep this. That is how normally it goes. But then suddenly the one who was second, this Tanzania runner, he was closing that German guy slowly. Closing, closing, closing. And when it comes to the last 5 meters, they both finish together. And both timing was 2 hours, 49 minutes. And I again watched the time, but I can't remember it. But it's let's say it's 5 seconds. Yes. I will. No. Okay. Again, they're asking for cookies. Okay. So it's 2 hours, 9 minutes, 48. 9 minutes and 48 seconds. And even these both runners are having the same timing. Even the Tanzanian runner is having the same one. But then we know in athletics, when two sprinters or two ones who finishes together, they go for a photo finish. They consider the photo finish because in a athletic race, what we consider as the end in one, you don't consider the head. It's only the parts without the head and without these arms. And if you can't consider like I'm running in this way, okay, I'm the photo finish. So here's this line, I have put my arm. No, what we consider is without these arms, this part. Then you might be having the question, then why do sprinters go and put their head? So when they put their head, the head doesn't go. What comes with the head? The body comes. Then it comes the shoulders. So that's why head is not considered. If like you can run in this way, you'll be probably in front. Okay. So then they are taking this photo finish. And then in that one, this Tanzania runner has finished the race ahead of the German runner by 0.03 seconds. So think about the German runner. He was leading the race for 2 hours and 9 minutes for 42 kilometers. He was leading the race. And then in the last 5 meters, he became second. This is not in a marathon at your inter-school house meet, inter-house school meet, in the Western Province meet, circuit meets. No, this is a marathon in the World Athletic Championships, which is only second to the Olympics. So that's why I'm telling you, I don't care, I don't matter how you run the first 42 kilometers. Even not your parents might matter. What matters to everyone of here, every one of us, what matters is how you end this one. How you end this race. After 2 years, how you end this. So if you have scored really well, that's impressive, really good. You are in track. If you have scored more than 80, perfect. More than 70, good. Really good. More than 50, good. More than 40, yeah, satisfied. And even if you have taken 20 for now, that's okay. But make sure if you are going to end the exam by the same mark, then you will be a loser. That matters for me a lot. If you're going to end the exam in 2 years with the same marks in the last paper that we are writing, let's say it might be paper 60 or something. And if you're going to end the paper by a 20, less than 20, somewhere around 30s, then you are a loser. Okay. So never mind, forget about the marks that you have got here. What I want you to do is, if you have already watched or joined the discussion, now you don't have to do that. Especially students who have scored less than 50, go home, don't look at the marking scheme, do the paper again. Take 3 hours and 30 minutes and do the paper again. The normal time is 2 hours and 30 minutes. I admit, take 3 hours and 30 minutes to complete the paper. Don't look at the marking because you don't have to, you have to be honest to yourself, and there's nothing that you won't be getting a medal when you bring the paper to me. So be honest, don't look at the marking, do the paper in 3 hours and 30 minutes. And then look at the marking scheme, mark the paper by your own. And then see what is the mark you got. Do that. And next week I'll be checking that individually. I'll be coming to you asking, okay, bring the paper. ගෙදර ඔක්කොම කරලා දාලා එන්න එපා. Paper එකත් කරලා බලලා මාකින් එකත් බලලා ලකුණුත් දාලා. නෑ. Don't do that. Bring the paper. So students who have scored less than 50, so I'll be coming and asking, did you bring that? So I need to see you, the paper that you have done at home, take in 3 hours and 30 minutes, mark it by yourself, and then we can talk. Then I'll give you a plan, what you're supposed to do. Because I know at this stage, you don't know what are you supposed to do for combined maths. Not even combined maths. You don't know what you're supposed to do in physics, chemistry, and even ICT. You go with the daily routine. You wake up, you come to school, you go to classes, then again you go home. If you remember that there are some homework, you do that homework, even though you care. Okay, homework I don't do that. Homework you again come into school, classes, you do this repeatedly. You still don't know what you are supposed to do if you want to perform well in each subject in A levels. So let's slowly talk that. For now, that's okay. Do that what I mentioned. And then when you come by next week, we can talk. Okay, now from here, where can we start? Is it clear? Okay, all good, no? Okay, then continue this question. We were doing question number 6, no? Do that, continue that. Okay, silence, can't talk. Start question number 6. Okay, silence. Do question number 6. So there's one additional thing you need to think in question number 6. Start working, don't talk. Okay, so it's y equals modulus x plus 1. We wrote the definition. The definition is y is, it's x plus 1 and it's minus x plus 1. This is when x is greater than 0. This is x is less than 0. That we know. We know the definition. Okay. Okay, now what we are supposed to draw is y equals x plus 1 and y equals minus x plus 1. So this is what am I supposed to draw. And now, if you consider this y equals x plus 1, I know the intercept is 1. That I know, the intercept is 1. And then I told you I need to find another point. I need to find another coordinate. So we can substitute x value, but go with the turning point. So when you put x equals 0, you get the same point. No? You get the intercept. So now, like you might think, okay, like I got the intercept even initially, but even here the turning point is even the intercept. So in that case, if you want another point, you can put another value. Go with x equals 1. Because here we have already marked the turning point. Clear? Because when you put x equals 0, you get this one. So this is already the turning point. So if the turning point is the same as the intercept, then what you can do, you can find another point. Okay, I'm going with x equals 1. Then I get y is equal to 2. So what is the point here? It's 1 and 2. Okay, yeah. Then consider that point. When x equals 1, y is equal to 2. X equals 1, y is equal to 2. That means you can draw this straight line. This is y equals x plus 1. You can draw this in this way, but I know it is only valid after this. Same thing here. The intercept is 1, and that is even the turning point. So go with another x value. If you put x equals 1, minus 1 plus 1, this is 0. And then you get the coordinate as 1, 0. Then you know this line, it's going through this one and this one. Draw the straight line which goes through these 2 points. This is y equals minus x plus 1. Considering the validity, it is only valid before this one. Before x equals 0, it is only valid. And this is only valid when x is less than 0. Which means this V-shaped graph gives you y equals modulus x plus 1. Okay, got the idea? So here, in case if you are having the turning point and the intercept is the same, find another point. Because we need 2 points. Okay, hands up who got this correctly, this one. Okay, good. Then do question number 7. We do question number 7. If there's anything unclear, you can ask from me. Do it alone. Question number 7. Silence, do it alone. Y equals, what we got is modulus x minus 1 minus 2. Hey, silence, silence. Stop talking. Still, there are students who are doing it. Remain silence. I need to take you one day to Saturday morning. Just come to the single medium class and see how silent is it. And it's like 3.5 times larger than this. Like it's like 350 students are there. But the silence level, if when you come to that class, you will realize. නිකන් යන ගමන් එන්න Saturday morning if you are නුගේගොඩ ඇවිල්ලා නිකන් වාඩිලා බලන්න මං එන්න කියලා බලන්න. So this one is like I'm doing this English medium class because normally I prefer group classes because when it is a group class, this is not a group class, but when it is a group class, I can get more engaged with students. So the 2026 English medium classes, there are only like 30 students. So, but that is my favorite class. Not the 2026 single medium or 27 single medium. ඒවල ඉන්න 300 400 විතර දැන්. But my favorite class is the Thursday class, 2026 English medium, because only 30 students, then I get more engaged with them. So this one, even I like the way that I talk with you, I engage with you is not the same as in the single medium. Single medium one, I have kept a bit distant with the students and 100% professional. You can even, if they are our friends, you can ask from them. But this one, like I want to do the English medium class in a more engaging way. Yeah? So you need to help me. Because then at the result, we both, even I'll improve and even you will get improved. කතා කරන්නේ පොඩි පොඩි සද්දේ වයිව තියෙන්න බෑ. Whatever the way I do the class, discipline is number 1. That you need to understood. Whatever the class professional, then at the Mukutuna, discipline will be number one. Okay. So I asked you question number 7, y equals modulus x minus 1 minus 2. So when you write the definition, I'll directly write it because you have done it before. You get x minus 3 and minus x minus 1. This is when x is greater or equal than 1, less than 1. Okay. So what are the two straight lines that we need to sketch is y equals x minus 3 and y equals minus x minus 1. Okay, so here y equals x minus 3. So what is the turning point here? It's x equals 3, so mark the turning point. And I'm going to draw this one, y equals x minus 3. Sorry, the turning point is not 3, it's 1. The intercept is minus 3, which means it goes through this point. I find the value at the turning point. When x equals 1, y is equal to minus 2. Find this. And then you get the coordinate 1 minus 2. So when x is equal to 1, the coordinate is y is minus 2. So it's here. These are the 2 points that you need to consider. So I'll be joining these 2 points. I'll be joining these 2 points in this way, and you name it as y equals x minus 3. But I know this is only valid after when x is greater than 1. This is only valid after 1, which means this part is not valid. Our next one, minus x minus 1 is having an intercept of minus 1. Goes through this point. Find the coordinate, the turning point x equals 1. Minus 1 is minus 2. So you have 1 minus 2. So it goes through this point. Sorry, this point, same point. And now mark these 2 points to get the straight line y equals minus x minus 1. But this is only valid before this point. So you get this one. So this is the modulus of y equals modulus x minus 1 minus 2. Okay, has Apu got this one? Okay, so quickly let's do the last one, do question number 9. To question number 9. Y equals 2 times modulus x minus 1. So as I mentioned before, for the online students, if you have joined as a new one, you will be getting the tudes for the previous lessons even. So 3 tudes, polynomials, trigonometry, and basic algebra. So if you join today, you won't be getting it this week. You will be getting it by next week. By other students who join in September, you are supposed to get all the 3 tudes by this week. And even the physical new students, like at the end of the class, just stay for 5 minutes and talk to me and go. They can collect their tudes from the reception next week when they come in. Okay, so what is the definition here? Silence, silence. It's 2 times x minus 1 means 2x minus 2 when x is greater or equal to 1. It becomes minus, so minus 2x plus 2 when x minus 1 is negative or x is greater than 1. So what are the 2 straight lines we need to consider? It's stop packing your stuff. I'm still doing the class. No, I'll give you time. Wait. So it's 2x minus 2 when x is greater than 1. And it is minus 2x plus 2 when x is less than 1. So what are the two straight lines we need to sketch? 2x minus 2 and y equals minus 2x plus 2. So we have the intercept. Then use the turning point, which is 1. When x equals 1, y is equal to 2 minus 2 is 0. So I get it as 1, 0. And then here, even when you put x equals 1, you get 0. So it's 1, 0 in this way. Then I can sketch the graph. So this is my y-axis. There's already axis there, no? Here it's... So what is the turning point? It's 1. Okay, let's do this. 2x minus 2. The intercept is minus 2. So it's going through this point and 1, 0. So mark the straight line that goes through these 2 points. Soon after you draw it, name it y equals 2x minus 2. So there is a reason why I'm asking you to name it, because when we are solving modulus inequalities, use this. You need to have the straight lines equations. The other one, it goes through plus 2. The intercept is plus 2. And even that goes through this point, and then mark the straight line that goes through these 2 points in this. But I know this is only valid when x is greater than 1, which means this is not valid. You can either use a dotted line or you can completely take it out. By now, if you can just start it from here and row, that is really good. And this one is only valid when x is less than 1. So this combined V-shaped graph is y equals 2 times modulus x minus 1. Okay. Okay, hands up who got this. Everyone is supposed to get it. Wait, hands up if you have taken it. Okay. Then do homework up to question number 11. Up to question number 11, do as homework. You can get ready to go. Okay. Okay, so the students who came as newcomers just remain after the class. Anand. Remain after the class for 5 minutes. And the other thing is make sure the students who have scored less than 50 do the paper again, as I mentioned, and show it to me. And the other one, the online students, only few students have written the paper online. Like I told you, if you are a student of mine, even though it's physical or online, I know you're in hurry to go, but give me 1 minute. Make sure you write the main papers, okay? Because main papers means every student should write that, even though you're physical and online. And next main paper, make sure there are physical students who didn't write the main paper, who came from the beginning and who didn't write the main paper. I'll be monitoring it properly in the next main paper. If you want, write the next main paper, which is at the end of November. You need to bring one of your parents the week after with a solid excuse. Okay, because make sure you are writing the next paper. Is it clear? Okay, because there are more than 30 students who have written the paper in the English medium class. That can't happen. Okay, so that's all. So we are done for today. You can go home safe.